Evelyn to Philip, email dated September 6, 1944. Dearest Phil, today I received yours very lovingly of August 31st. I'm very happy to know that you doubled your quota, and I'd like to know who won the long-distance telephone call. Your letter was awfully sweet and made me feel good. I guess I should write to the Wolfs, but I'm afraid I'd have to write them a letter and send it addressed to you. If I find time to write before I hear from you, that is how I shall send it. I have very little opportunities to shop during the week, but on Saturday I shall scan the neighborhood for Pyrex bottles and nipples, and perhaps some candy for you, though I'm not too happy about sending candy along since I've heard that you gained weight. I forgot to mention yesterday that we had a letter from Maxie Brown and that he too is now in France. He said he was sorry he didn't get the opportunity to see you, and he guessed it would have to wait till the war was over. You asked me in this letter not to be mad at you for not writing. I'm not mad, honey, but how would you feel if you didn't get mail for about 12 days? Even though in my heart I know you are all right, it still annoys me no end not to have mail from you. I had so little mail from you last month that I couldn't help writing as I did. In the letters I received yesterday, you mentioned whether I remember Ace. Yes, Phil, I remember him well. I'm sorry, but I don't ever remember his coming to 4906. But I do remember a particular Memorial Day when 6 fellows and I, the only girl, went to Delaware Park for the races. Do you recall that day? It poured later in the day, and my white chubby and large white straw hat were almost ruined. Yes, I remember very well how you used to warm my toesies. I wouldn't mind if you were right here now to do something of the sort to me. Adele has finally cut all her teeth. Hooray! Phil, it is remarkable how overnight, or so it seems, she knows everything. We can actually carry on a conversation with her. This morning I said something to her, and imagine my surprise at her reply, which was, yes, indeed. I always comb her hair in the upsweep now with a part down the back of her head, and she looks very, very sweet and demure with it that way. You know, dear, that quality that I dislike most of Adele's pictures is that constant reference you make to her fatness. Phil, she isn't fat at all. In fact, she's just about right. She is well-rounded and not as solid as she appears. That is why I'm so anxious for you to see her. Just recently, everyone was complaining that she looked thin. Can you imagine? They are too used to remembering her as a chubby little thing and can't see her any other way. I prefer her to be just a little chubby, because when they start to grow in height, they usually become very skinny, and if she has enough weight, that won't happen. But I've just reached the end of another missive, so I'll close now. Phil, dear, with all my fondest love and a long, long kiss from your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, 6th September 1944. My darling, today brought a lull in my activities, and I didn't do much of anything. It also brought a letter from Eddie dated the 31st August, in which he implies that nothing definite has been decided by the hospital authorities as to the disposition of his case. He also said that he is writing home very infrequently. There is a reason for this that you may not understand, but I want to impress on you that there is a reason, a good one, that even I cannot tell you. So no matter if he does not write at all, you must rest assured that he is perfectly well, or will be soon, that he was not hurt in any way while he was in France, and that there is a good reason to hope that he may be coming home soon. All you, and I mean the family as well, must do is to wait patiently as you are able till that happy day, and thank God that he has been spared you. I might also add that it would be a very good idea if you at home wrote to him frequently, regardless of the sparsity of his letters. He needs most of all encouragement and reassurance. Give him plenty of both. There was also another midget edition of the bulletin sent along by Dottie, but there was no letter from you, my sweet. Somehow everything looks much brighter, and I am in a happier page 2 frame of mind when there is a new letter of yours to be read and reread. This evening I went to the first show to see Joel McCrea and Betty Field in The Great Moment. It was more educational than entertaining, but what's bad about being educated? On returning from the movies, I was just in time to hear the radio give out with a general outline of the demobilization plan as made public this afternoon. I don't know all the details, sweet, nor will they be published before Germany surrenders or is overrun, which is more likely. But from what I heard, I got the impression that the procedure is eminently fair. Doubtless there will be hitches of one kind and another, but we must realize that they cannot be helped. The main thing is that the whole program is intended to let out those men first who have the greatest right to be out first. How this will affect me personally, I cannot even guess at this stage of the game, but it is good to know that steps are being taken to let some of us out. I'll talk more about this as I learn more about the plan and what disposition will be made of 1807. It may be a long, drawn-out process, honey, so I must caution you to keep your patience well in hand. When you are inclined to feel dispirited or discouraged, give a thought to all those wives who no more have even the consolation of waiting for their men. Consider yourself fortunate that you are not one of those, just as I consider myself very lucky that I am still able to look. Page 3, forward to an eventual reunion with all my loved ones. There isn't much else to say right now, baby, so I'll say good night for the time being. God keep you all well and keep me safe for you. I live only for the opportunity and the privilege of bringing you every happiness I can as husband, father, and son. And if that sounds a bit too dramatic for your taste, it is nonetheless no more than the simple truth, believe me. I am, as ever, your Phil. Eddie's address, in case you've mislaid it. Corporal Edward J. Paller, 337-82822. Detachment of Patients, 4174 U.S. Army Hospital Plant, APO 121 U.S. Army.